Alright, well I'm going to attempt to put together this Underdrive planetary assembly, and I already know it's going to be a whole lot of no fun. I'm trying to avoid taking this over and using my press. My press is not here. So we're going to go at it and see what happens. The first thing I'm going to do is get the snap ring in here. Just like so. It goes down in those grooves. Go ahead and pop this side up. There we go. And then this will key into that. So I'm just setting it here. And then I'll squeeze the snap ring again and let this fall down. And I'll try to catch the groove in the ring gear. Okay, this needs to come up a little over here. Okay, checking all the way around. Looks good, but the end of the snap ring is close to the edge of this one, so I'm going to rotate it to where it's kind of centered on these two castellations in there. It's difficult to see, but that's what I'm doing nonetheless. Okay, that looks good. Let's move on. Alright, well I'm going to go at this and see if I can make do. I've got it resting on a block of wood. You don't want to rest on this down here, you'll tear it up. So I'll drop the ring in. Like so, and then the bearing's been lubricated as well. It's going right there. And I'm just going to attempt to use a piece of brass rod and see if I can start working it little by little. I don't have anything large enough to go around this. I'm just hitting it lightly because it appears it's going. That's what I was afraid of. I don't have it supported very well. Alright, well it really only took me about another minute to do that carefully, and it's definitely seated. I'm going to see if you can hear it. You hear how solid that is? And you can feel it. So that's looking good. Now the parking gear goes on next. This raised rim points upwards. Same drill here. Put some lubrication on that bore there. This will go on. It doesn't have very far to go, but same principle. Alright, well that actually seated quite easily and nicely. You can hear how solid it is now. That's an indicator that I'm down all the way. Now this gear goes on, it's splined internally, but there's a dished out area which will actually face down. So it goes on like so. Try to just lightly get that started. I'll give it a soft hammer. And I'll do the same thing with this. Start working it down till I bottom out. Alright, well that one probably took me about 5 minutes. That was a long way to go, but I got it seated down as well. The next thing to go on is this outer bearing. Sits on just like that. Let's see if I can get it started. Starting. Let's see here. I'm running out of things to hang on to. Let's try this. It's going. It's going. That's down. Alright. Went together much easier than it came apart. Now it's just a matter of installing the new nut, torquing it down, and then staking this in right there. Alright, well this, as precarious as it looks, is the best setup I could come up with given what I have. I had to turn my vice jaws 90 degrees. I put in 2 blocks of aluminum to give purchase to the gear here and not cause any damage. Tightened everything up. I had one of my friends come over and help me tighten this to 207 foot-pounds. The main reason was the vise wanted to turn. The 1 5/8 socket I was using is not really correct for this, so I didn't have much purchase on the nut. So 4 hands, 3 seconds, couple clicks, there you go. Alright, well after torquing this nut, I'm supposed to check the preloads on the bearings, and the rotational torque should be 6.2 to 38.9 inch-pounds. So I've set my torque wrench to 39, and if I get a click, then we should be good, but not sure how I'm going to do that, so let me use a better tool for this. Oh yeah, definitely within specs and perfect. After verifying the rotational torque is within specification, I stake the nut right here. Now that completes this particular assembly. Alright, well my oil pump is all within specifications, so I'm going to go back together here. Put a little ATF fluid right here, a little bit around this seal. I don't have drivers, so I'm just going to use a hammer, carefully get it in there. Get it started and try to drive it evenly. There we go. Right before it goes back in, I'll put, well, let me go ahead and put a little transmission fluid right here. May not be able to get to that too easily. Put a little bit on here. I may use some trans gel on this before it goes back in. Alright, so that's that component. Flip this over. A little bit more transmission fluid in here. I'm going to put the driven and driving gear back in. There are 2 dots on this, 1 on each. They both face up. Let's try to drop this in here. Looking good. Now it's just a matter of lining these up the way they go. I will get all of these bolts put in here where they belong, and they will get torqued to 7 foot-pounds. Alright, all the bolts have been torqued. I've picked out my new sealing rings. These are just square cut on the end. There's 2 grooves where they go. Just going to spread it out and get that in there. There's 1, followed by number 2 here. There we go. Flip it over, and there's an O-ring that goes down in this particular groove there. There's the new ring. Just going to work this on. Just like that. These will get a light coating of trans gel assembly lube right before it goes in. Alright, well, I'm working on this direct clutch drum here. I've got my new pistons lubricated with a little bit of red trans gel. Drop this in there and start getting it lined up. I'm going to use a twisting motion and try to push it down in there. There we go. That should work. And then this will go right here. And then the top one will go in. Same principle. Just kind of start pushing down and getting it going. And then I'm going to use clamps to press this all the way in to put the snap ring on it. I'll show that once I get there. Alright, well, it's not glamorous or sexy, but a couple clamps evenly going down. I've got it down far enough to where I can try to put this snap ring back on. Try to get down in here. It's kind of difficult with everything in the way. Try to snap that down with a screwdriver. Double check. Yep, it's in there. I want the split of the snap ring. I'll show this in a moment. I want the split right here in between a couple of these bumps, because when I release this, these bumps will prevent that snap ring from spreading open and getting out. So now it's just a matter of working it back and forth a little at a time. It's the best way I could come up with without having the proper tools. And there we have it. Alright, well, I need to check the pack clearance on these, so I'm going to go ahead and install the steels and the friction material just so I can check it with a feeler gauge. It should be between 24 and 29 thousandths. I will be taking it apart and soaking these in ATF for a half hour or so before, but they also lied in the manual and said that there was only supposed to be 3 steels and 3 frictions. Not true. There are 4. Start with the steel, friction, steel. And then this plate on the end is thicker, and these come in different thicknesses. So if for some reason I don't fall within specifications, I need to get one that's either thicker or thinner than what we've got here. So I'll go ahead and drop this one in and then put the snap ring in. Try to do this with my fingers if I can. Okay, there's that. Let's see, I've got my feeler gauges here. Let's go in at 24 and see where I'm at. And right there, I'm on the money. Yeah, I'm good at 24 right there. So on the low end, we're fine. I'm definitely not beyond the high end. So this looks good. Alright, well, I'm working on this forward drum here. The manual doesn't look anything like this. They claim like 4 steels and discs. Well, there's 6. I'm putting the new seal on the front here. for starters. There's that. I've got my piston lubricated. Try to put it in here. Give it a little twist as I push down. Okay, that looks good. The spring retainer will go in, followed by this snap ring. I'm not going to bother showing this. It's pretty much a mirror of what I've just done. I am going to use 4 clamps on this one though to distribute the weight a little bit better. Alright, I'm continuing on. I'm going to put all the steels and frictions in here and check the clearance as well on this one. It should have between 24 and 41 thousandths. That's a pretty big range right there. Take me a minute to get these in here. And it as well has a thicker steel on the outside end that will go in last. Right, like so. Try to get my snap ring in here. There we go. So I'm going to start in with the 24 and see if it slides in here. And it does. Let me jump all the way up to 35. Yeah, 35 is a little loose. Well, I was hoping to get lucky on this, but I'm going to have to get a thicker steel. I'm at 45 thousandths here, so I'm outside of specifications. I've got 130 thousandths steel in here. I'm going to step that up to 141, and that will bring my clearance down to 34, so I'll be well within range at that point. Alright, well, I'm working on the Underdrive clutch. I've installed a new O-ring right down in here, lubricated my pistons. This is the new piston going in right now. Going to line it up, turn it a little bit, and push it down into place. There we go. The spring retainer will go on right there, and then followed by this particular piston. Again, it's not very glamorous, but here is my setup for this. I put some blue tape around here just to protect the bearing surface should my clamps come in contact. A couple pieces of scrap steel cantilevered in here. I've got it tightened up just beyond the snap ring groove. I'm going to try to do this in real time and get the snap ring on here, and hopefully it will work with me. Let me get this positioned. Come down and try to get this working. Kind of lost it there. Maybe I can push it down with my fingers. Got at least into that portion right there. Try to grab it again. Trying to keep my head out of the way. Okay. Got it started. Just double checking. It is in there, and again I need to spin it to where those catches will hold the snap ring. Okay, right around in that arena. One more visual, looking good. And now I'm going to slowly start releasing my clamps a little bit at a time. that side. And this side. Final inspection. Looking good. Alright, well, I'm installing the friction and steels here. Again, the manual says there's only supposed to be 3 steels and frictions. Well, there are 4. So I'll get these dropped in here. And then the thick plate goes on the outside. We will get the snap ring installed here. Like so, and now we will check this for its clearance. Well, I should have between 57 and 67 thousandths clearance here. I've got 57 set up on my stack, and in my opinion, it is too tight. 118 thousandths is the narrowest or thinnest steel they offer for this, and that happens to be the one that I have. So I've got no other options here other than just to run with it. Alright, well, I need to install this second brake piston into its bore here. A couple new O-rings, a little bit of trans gel. Kind of get it lined up. Slight twisting motion, pushing down. Easy enough. Alright, well, I missed a step on this one. I need to put this retainer, spring retainer in there, and then get the snap ring on. They've got little raised areas that have to get below the groove. Put the snap ring on and then relieve the pressure, and those raised areas will keep the snap ring from popping out. Well, I don't know if this is going to work out, but this is my plan. I'm going to start right here on this one. Try to get it at least in the groove and then try to work my way around while keeping tension out on the ring. I'm going to try this where I'm sitting, but I may need to stop the camera because I really need to get over this with my head and my body so I can apply force where I need it. But we'll give it a shot just to see if I can show it. Okay, I've got that one started right there. Now, I'm going to try to hold this ring out and move into this next one, but I don't think it's going to just allow it to go in there. I could be wrong, but we'll try. No, it's not. I'm going to have to get the whole ring out to the perimeter. And I just don't know if I can do that with my fingers. I wish I had a spot to hook that one. Well, I've got that on there, down in the groove. If I can keep it held out. I really need to get in that. I mean, over that is what I mean. Okay, this is not working out for me. I'm going to give it one more attempt here. So close, but so far. Maybe I can come in with 2. I can't get it. Try to move that back out. Alright. Okay, last attempt. On camera, that is. I'm going to try to pull this out far enough. Maybe I can come down with this one and pinch the snap ring in place with this screwdriver. Get this started. If I can get it in that. Come in with a second one. Oh, I'm so close. So close. Oh, I'm almost there, guys. Just got this little section here to do. Oh. I did it. Alright, that took about 4 minutes. But I did it. Alright, well this is the number one-way clutch, and this has to be put together correctly or it will not operate properly. Do you see this groove right here? This is technically the top, but I've got it face down for now. Just simply taking one of these retainers, pop that on there and turn it over so now the top is facing up. Drop one of these in like this. And then this ring here, you see this lip right here? It also faces up. Everything's been coated in a light coating of transmission fluid. Kind of have to work this around and it will push down in there. Stick on this ring here. Stick on the top retainer. Get it lined up. Snap, snap. And this one here, the bearing race faces up as well. That's what the other side looks like. It goes down like this. And while turning counterclockwise, slippery, this should drop in there. There it goes. And then while holding the outer race, it should freewheel counterclockwise, but lock up clockwise, just like that. This is the number 2 one-way clutch, or sprag. Same principle. This one has dots in it, as you can see. Those actually face up when you're installing it or putting it together, but I'm going to flip it over just to put this retainer on the back. There we go. Drop in one of these seals. Just like that. And again, there's a lip on this one. It faces up as well. Just work this around. There we go. Install the top one. Another retainer. Light coating on this as well, and that's as far as this one can go. This will get checked when it's put in. The component of the inner race is part of something else. And then the anti-rattle clip goes on. There's one odd tab on here. That's where that clip goes. Goes like this. Should sit on there just like that. Alright, well I'm starting to put things back in the case now. I've got new axle seals driven in it. The seal that goes on the manual shift lever, anybody who's watched that video, supposedly had a roll pin in there, but it was a set screw. So I was able to dig the seal out and put a new one down on that shaft. Just going to try to tap this race in there. that one. Try to flip it over. Same thing here. Just putting in a little transmission fluid. Yeah, that one just went right in. Good. Alright, well, I need to press this bearing down onto this gear. Don't have a press here with me, so I just started it with a soft hammer, and then I'm taking this rod stock here. I'm just catching that inside race. I'm going to stay away from those cages. It's going to take me a while here to do this, and once I get it down so far, I'm going to have to find something narrower to get in here and drive it home the rest of the way. Alright, well, the best thing I could come up with was just a drift punch. So I'm just doing the best I can here. It is going, but it's going to take me a little bit to get it down there. But I will get it on there without damage. Not really the ideal situation, but sometimes you work with what you got. I believe I'm almost there. Alright, well, I got it seated on there. That took about 20 more taps. Took care of that. Put a little ATF on my bearing and my race down in there. I'm going to go ahead and advance and lubricate this shaft where the other bearing needs to go on. Okay, everything's lubricated. That guy goes right in here. Just like so. Now I need to flip this over, but I need to stack up some blocks or something to support this gear firm, because I am going to be driving that bearing on from the other side. Alright, let's see how this side's going to work. I've got probably, I don't know, maybe 3 short 2x4s stacked up under there. Got a little bit on my bearing here. Get this started. See what happens. This could be fun. It's going. Nice and solid. Alright, well, the first reverse brake piston's going in now. New O-rings, some lubrication. Just going to try to get it down in here and twist it as I push down. And there it went. Okay. And then this spring retainer goes on. This was one that was damaged. I've got a new one. There's a snap ring that goes down in here, but I need to compress this. I am going to fight this. I know I'm going to attempt to spread the ring out, pressing down with a screwdriver, and just kind of work my way around. This is going to be no fun here. I guess I can try to show how much no fun it's going to be. And actually, these snap ring pliers are not even going to work out for me, so. And secondly, this is not the right snap ring. I gotta find the right snap ring. It should be one that goes on this internal bore there. everything's right here with me, and it still took me 10 minutes to find this snap ring. It goes on the outside of this inner section there. So like I said, this is not going to be fun at all, but I'm going to go ahead and try it here and see. I may have to get other hands on it. Just trying to show how. Well, I actually got it working. Not fun, but almost. Just kind of wanted to show the struggles I'm dealing with here and there. Trying to press it out with my thumb. You can't see what I'm doing, but it's going. Fighting. Maybe. I don't have anything. I'm just trying things while holding pressure here. Oh, I'm so close. This is why having the right tool for the job is important sometimes. And I'm not about to buy them for a one-off situation. Yeah, that's not working. Fingers are getting tired. I got it started. I'll get it. Alright, well that was a whole bunch of no fun. I did get it in there. I ended up taking a couple of these scrap pieces of 1x2, jamming them in my chest so I could lean on them to act like third and fourth hands. So I was kind of able to walk them around while working the snap ring in. Get the right tool or call for some help. That's my opinion.